anybody following that was already listening. For those of you joining on video, hey there. I'm trying to get the video started before 11 o'clock and just have like that countdown thing or something like that operating. But it's now 11, 11, 11. Wow. Go buy a lottery ticket. I think I might do that today too. It's 11. Well, now it's 11 and 20, but we're on WDJY, America One Radio, and now the rest of the Mastiff Media Network. Today we're going to be talking about whether I don't want to say persona because I don't want any of you, to think that I'm sitting here at this mic in front of this camera being fake. This is who I am. If you don't like it, turn me off. Go listen to Fox or Rachel. I'm liberal. I'm conservative. I'm both. That's it. And I think most of Americans are. That's why we're concentrating on swing states. Because they're blue one year, red the next. So my dilemma, because we wanted to grow up the middle, Yerg's Radio, and we just didn't have the finances to advertise it. So we pushed this summer on the social media, which does not happen overnight. I know that. I knew that going into it. God damn. I knew that going into it, but I wasn't just going to sit here and do shows and that's it. Yeah, I'm going to put things on social media. I'm getting better at putting things on social media and on different platforms and whatever else. But one of the things I noticed, like so many of the other wannabes, just like me, there is an obvious attraction. Oh, this poor dog. He gets this upset stomach. There's this obvious attraction in behavior. Like they are the Howard Stern of politics. And I don't think people realize just what he's done for broadcasting. And I think he'll tell you not all of it's good. I was watching an interview of today's recipient of Pierre's Pot. Hassan Piker is a Turkish-American college grad from Rutgers. Now makes his living on Twitch. That's it. He's not even on any other platforms that I know of that he advertises. Maybe that's what I'm doing wrong. And, you know, I just don't believe that. I can't get behind that. But we'll talk about all this, you know, when we talk about me and what I'm trying to do. Today's morning motivation comes from, you see him right there? I'm pointing the wrong way. That way. You see him right there. Mr. Rogers. Fred Rogers is from my home state of Pennsylvania. He was born in Latrobe. And we'll talk about him when we talk about him versus Howard. But I've grown up knowing him as Mr. Rogers from Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Ironically, his successor, Steve from Blue's Clues, he's kind of like the modern day Mr. Rogers. Now he's even moved on to other things. But Steve is also from Pennsylvania. He's from my hometown. He went to my high school. From Blue's Clues. The very first of the dark-haired guys that follows Blue the dog. And just, he was, when I put this together earlier today, the graphic that you see on the screen, and for those of you joining in radio or audio only, social media, whatever, the quote again, You've made this day a special day by just being you. There's no person in the world like you. Oh, excuse me, a whole person in the whole world like you. And I like you just the way you are. One of the most common and most famous quotes for Mr. Rogers. TV personality, and I put and educator. Because not only did he teach so many different things on his show, but really his life. One of his other very notable things was his testimony before Congress in saving and, in fact, nurturing PBS, the public broadcast system, and its radio counterpart, NPR, National Public Radio. But also the importance of educating. That education is probably a front runner, lifelong front runner for inclusivity. And there he is in a shirt and tie and a sweater, clean shaven, with nicely groomed hair. Does not exactly reek of San Francisco or Portland, Oregon, or any other libtard neighborhood. Although Allegheny County in Pittsburgh, where he's from, isn't exactly conservative. But that dress, just maybe instead of conservative or liberal, perhaps says good person. And I like you just the way you are. How is that? Long hair, like I've got now. Short hair, like I had when I was in the Secret Service. Scruffy. I seriously don't remember. When I shave, it's with the clippers. I seriously do not remember the last time a razor touched my face. And you know what? I'm not flaking. I don't have any irritation. I get irritated now because there's scruff growing in. That's what annoys me. Oh, these two. Let's see if I can put this on here for everybody. There's my babies. Matrix is making himself comfortable with his little sister and makes room for the little sister who kicks him off the Matrix. Will probably go into the bedroom by the time the show's over. But yeah. So who am I? Who are you? And why does Mr. Rogers like you just the way you are? I've got a post. I think I found it. Nope, still not. So here's the one that got a little bit of, I don't want to say controversy, but spurred some discussion yesterday. If you don't understand why your gay friend is scared right now, then you don't have a gay friend. You know a gay person. And yet all of the people, and we talked about it yesterday, there's one more added to it. Another asshat thinks everything's going to be fine and I'm overreacting and whatever. Oh, I just cracked my neck. But one of them Jake Maxwell really said some intelligent things. Jake Maxwell is gay, pansexual. He's whatever he wants to be. He's an epitome of what Mr. Rogers is talking about. Probably not what everybody thinks Mr. Rogers is talking about in a physical perspective, but from just being who you are. That's exactly what Mr. Rogers is talking about. He says, "Oh boy, I swore I wasn't going to jump in on any of these, but here we go. The amount of white privilege, and this doesn't impact me in this thread, is just..." Okay, a little wordy there, but I'll try to say it again. The amount of white privilege, and this doesn't impact me in this thread. We'll just leave it at the amount of white privilege is disheartening, to say the least. A couple of points. One, it is beyond rich for anyone who voted for this guy in 2020 or 2024 to tell anyone to calm down and move on. If I remember correctly, this is great. If I remember correctly, the Republican Party's response to the election they lost was to, he checks his notes, little sarcasm, love it, storm the Capitol. So politely, on that point, literally shove it. We will process this on our own, but we promise we won't try to hang our vice president. 2, give the guy a chance. We are going to try, but it's not like he hasn't served before. I've been saying that. Everybody's up Kamala Harris's rear end about what she hasn't done in the past 3 years. She wasn't president. It wasn't her administration. She had much less say than what a lot of people realize and are willing to admit. Trump, on the other hand, had 4 years, never built his wall. What he did build fell over, had a great economy from Obama, squandered it, had a great global reputation from Obama, squandered it, and now he's a joke. We are going to try, but it's not like he hasn't served before. I just wish the advice everyone is giving out would go both ways. 3, as someone who is younger, the lack of understanding why people are scared is so mind-blowingly awful that I can't put it into words. Putting aside a policy for a moment, if people who disagree with you are scared and your response is to laugh, especially if they are younger, then you truly are the worst of what this country has to offer. This country is better when we disagree, no doubt about that. This country is not better, though, when the parents and generations that came before mine are looking around being like it's going to be okay without a care in the world of the chaos they leave behind. And then today's asshat is John Givens. He says, you are safer now than, first of all, it's than, THAN, you have ever been. My point in this next comment, exactly. That's already been proven wrong, but thanks for the well wishes. And then he laughs at that. I asked, why is that funny? And I got no response. But one of the other comments in here somewhere, oh, Matrix is dreaming. I thought I put it in this one. Yeah, I noticed once I start bringing up in this whole thread, once I start bringing up actual issues that were supposed to be what this was about. Oh, now Paul says, I'm right. We got to respond to that one. Just because you think you have a good idea or thought doesn't mean that you do. That I have a media. Oh, what a fat slob. I thought I put that on here somewhere. Well, one of the comments I keep making, one of the stats I keep making is that Trump got Trump got 51% of the vote, roughly, I guess, because now there's more that are being counted. So it's likely going to change. But when I saw the votes coming in, and one of the first times that I saw he was for the first time going to actually win the popular vote as well, I saw that he received roughly 51% of the vote. And somebody posted when he had a slightly lesser number that it was similar to, or as an identical percentage of the number of U.S. American adults who have no higher than a sixth grade reading level. At 51%, it's a seventh grade reading level. So figure it out. On this hand, we have 51% of our adult country with a reading level of seventh grade or less. And on this hand, we have 51% of our country who voted for Donald Trump. What's anybody supposed to think with that? So anyway, I thought that was funny. But yeah, and that's what gets us into today. This chair's not comfortable today. I don't know what the hell. That's what gets us into today. Howard or Fred. And as I look back in both their bios and what they've done and how they've done it, kind of both. I mean, there's not there's not much difference. I can be yesterday I went off. Go back and watch yesterday's episode or listen to it, find it, whatever. But before Jane came on for the second hour, I went nuts. That post that we just looked at was part of it, actually. And that was a little bit more Howard Stern. A little bit more Howard Stern. But it was all who I am. And I'm not going to be, there's another one I can put up. I can't find all these damn memes and screensavers and whatever else. But I'm not going to be silent. Like in this one, Paul Oswald, he was an agent in the Philadelphia office when I came on. I don't know what he's doing now. He left to go to Customs. Customs is no more. So I don't know. That didn't happen. You didn't lose your agency under a Democrat president. But yeah, he was one of the assets that I went off on, all of whom are just these privileged white men. They've all got good jobs. They've all got, in fact, Bill, Paul, Bill Holdsworth, Paul Oswald, Andrew. I think he's self-employed. John Gibbons. I don't know if he has good anything. They've all got cush jobs. They're white straight guys that don't have to worry about being marginalized. So what does that mean? You shut the hell up. You're going to learn something. And that's Barb from the golf board thing checking in. Go to St. Pete today. Oh, going to St. Pete today. Yeah, that's way farther for me. We're talking in this other room. We're talking about trying to get to FEMA to get things resolved. So I'm actually, after the show today in 28 minutes, I'm leaving for, I think I'm going to be going to Brooksville. I'm going to call first to make sure it's actually open today because I got a flyer yesterday or Sunday, one of the two, with tomorrow's date on it. So I don't know if they're not open today. So I'll call the library that they're at in Brooksville, FEMA, and say, hey, are your FEMA people out there or is it just tomorrow? And find out. I haven't received that $750 that everybody's gotten. I haven't. All I heard, I got an automated phone call over the weekend that I'm eligible for a hotel, and that all the hotels in my area know that I'm on their list for eligibility, and I can go stay in a hotel. I'm like, well, I can't go stay in a hotel. I've got these two dogs. No hotel is going to let me in with a Mastiff and a Pit Bull. And secondly, this is all kind of torn up now. It's vulnerable. I want to stay here and protect my property, presuming that the garage I'm living in is safe. I've been living in my garage for, God, I'm losing track of how long we've been doing this. But, these two are so adorable. But I'm trying to get the trailer out front so that when we do build up and I don't have a roof over my head anymore, literally, I can still have a roof over my head. So, yeah, I like you just the way you are. Even the asshats that are dicks gives the rest of us something to learn from, something to aspire not to be. I forget which major league umpire said that, but before the internet, we'd have to buy these cassette tapes of various major league umpires, NBA referees, NHL referees, NFL, whoever, that were giving keynote speeches at like association meetings and things like that. And I think it was Jerry Davis from then the National League who said, we can learn from everything, essentially, meaning that if I see something that I like, I go, hey, I like that. But if I see something that I don't like, you can learn from that too, meaning that I don't want to do it like that. I don't want to do it like Trump supporters that just go from zero to hate. Somebody actually said that. Somebody actually mentioned about an attitude or something, a Trump supporter that I think I knew the person. And they actually used the word hate. And I'm like, you wonder why the media, you wonder why those of us with a brain constantly giving you grief. I'm trying to make this camera. I don't know what the hell it's been. I've been dealing with this camera all day. I guess that's better. There we go. Your head is supposed to be in like the middle third of the screen, and of course centered. But when I got a microphone and flag, that I'm trying to get a brand out there too. All right, I've got to take a break. When we come back, where we at? Oh, Howard versus Fred. 99.1 WDJY, America One Radio, and the rest of the Massive Media Network. We'll be back after this. Hey gang, does your house smell nasty? Do you want to freshen it up a little bit? Go to aromabypeter.com. Check out all of Peter's candles. It's what we burn here in Studio Yergs. I'm burning right now leather scented candle. That's right, leather scented. So go to aromabypeter.com/Yergs and check out his candles today.
I'm Jane Stahl, retired English teacher, and with my BFF, Susan Bebeck, we manage Studio B Fine Art Gallery in Boyertown, Pennsylvania. We showcase the art of hundreds of local artists, publish books of the poetry, prose, and art of local writers, offer classes, art parties, workshops, discussion groups, cater dinners. We've even hosted a wedding. And we're here to be the go-to place for friendship, learning, and fun in our community. Virtual tours of our exhibits are available right here on Yergs Radio. Let us introduce you to some amazing art and artists.
Check out Jane Stahl and everyone at Studio B in Boyertown, Pennsylvania. Please visit our YouTube channel, Talk TV 24. How's your website doing? I'll tell you how mine's doing. It's awesome. Yergs.com is gotta be the best website for anybody in podcasting or any sort of broadcast solo journalist like me. How did I get that? Limit Break Digital. Limit Break Digital did my website with Yergs.com. They did YergerGroup.com. They take care of my marketing, my branding, and help me get the message out to you. Go to limitbreakdigital.com/Yergs for 10% off your next project. That's a $3,000 site, Yergs.com. And you can get 10% off that by just going to limitbreakdigital.com/Yergs today. Talk to Jay. That's my guy. We all got a guy, and Jay's mine. limitbreakdigital.com. Hey gang, it's Yergs. Right now, our country is about to embark on yet another controversial presidential election. I have an actual question, legitimate question, as a political scientist and historian by education. If you are a Trump supporter, I want to hear from you. I want to know what your appeal to Donald Trump is at this time. Please email me news, N-E-W-Z, at yergs.com. News, N-E-W-Z, at yergz.com. Thanks. Participants must be willing to provide their contact information, answer a series of questions, and then have their first name broadcast over the radio and social media.
Momentum Fitness. There it is. I got to admit, last year I got a bout of PTSD, depression. Haven't been to the gym. I'm back at Momentum Fitness, formerly Monster Mouse Fitness. Momentum Fitness and Wellness. It's in Bayonet Point, Jasmine Estates, right on US 19, just north of the U-Haul. The U-Haul rental place, and actually it's also U-Haul's actually also got one of those storage places in the shopping center. Improved equipment, more equipment, more space. They bought into the contract of the place next door to them. They own that space now. They redone that. There's a plunge tank. There's a sauna. There's a larger stretching area. Before you kind of had to stretch out wherever there was some space. Now there's a space just for stretching. More CrossFit, more space in general, inside and out. They've expanded the outside. They have all kinds of, full body CrossFit type training. And all you need is your phone. Before you had to get one of those little key fob things. Now you just register online, MomentumFitnessAndWellness.com, or just go up to the door. There's a big QR code in the window. Scan that QR code. Set you right up. Talk to Anthony. Heard 2 commercials ago. We all got a guy, and Anthony's mine, at Momentum Fitness and Wellness. Get that beach body back. Keep the beach body. Hernando Beach, Clearwater Beach, St. Pete Beach, whatever the beach. Get your body. Go to MomentumFitnessAndWellness.com. So Howard or Mr. Rogers. I think I actually have. There it is. There we go. I'll pull this up. Howard or Fred? Well, the fact is, I'm a lot like both. When my neighbor said that I was going to be like the Howard Stern of politics, or be the Howard Stern of politics, I thought that was cool. I've always liked Howard Stern. But I never really intended on being the Howard Stern of politics, the Howard Stern of anything. It was going to be me. And that's really what he's all about. As is Fred Rogers. As we talked about in today's morning motivation. What was that? I get all these dings. I haven't lost any station or anything that I know of. We don't have any. Oh, there's that. We don't have anybody calling in yet. By the way, you can do that. If you've got your vote on which one you think I should be, there we go. If you got your vote on which one I think I should be, call 1-888-88-YERGS or 844-GAY-LGBT. That's a line for Rainbow Radio, and Yergs is the line for Yergs Radio. They both come right here. Call, let me know what you think. Howard was born January 12th, 1954, a little younger than my parents. He's 70 years of age. He's born in New York City, went to Boston University for broadcast journalism. His dad was in radio. Political party. I didn't know he was a libertarian. I just thought libertarians were more conservative. But his first station was WRNW in Briarcliff Manor, New York. Then WCCC in Hartford, Connecticut. WWWW in Detroit. That's the one that went to country. And he said, "Hop along, Howie. Isn't going to make it here." So he goes to WWDC, DC 101. I'd listen to that station when I was in DC. It was a rock station. and then did 3 years that were awful at WNBC in New York. Because basically they hired him not knowing who he was. They just knew his ratings, said, okay, get him here. And then they listened to him and like, who hired this guy? So he goes from there to WXRK, which is another rock station where he'd been for more than 20 years, till he left that. Well, that went into syndication, as you probably know, starting in 1986, and aired in 60 markets with over 20 million listeners at its peak. I remember when he first came to Philadelphia. In fact, it was just Philadelphia at first. WYSP. And I just thought, WYSP, this guy's in Philly. And you listen to it and you realize he's in New York. And then he picked up WJFK, which I think was an AM station. But point being, he got back to DC, where he was now going up against DC 101, one of his former stomping grounds. Then added Baltimore and Los Angeles. And I know that because I can still do the call letters. How he used to do, like I said today, 99.1 WDJY, America One Radio, and the rest of the Master Media Network, blah, blah, blah. 92.3 K-Rock, WYSP, WJFK, Baltimore, Los Angeles. It's Howard. We'll be back after these words. That's what he used to say. I still got that. And so 92.3 K-Rock, that was the New York station. WYSP was Philadelphia. WJFK was DC. And then he just added Baltimore and Los Angeles. He didn't say the actual call letters. What those stations do during the break is they have somebody at the board in that city, and they take over for that period. So yeah, I mean, he started, and he really didn't start it, because guys like P.D. Green, also in DC, way before him. Where was he at? WOR, I think it was, in DC. If you watch the movie Talk to Me, starring Don Cheadle and Martin Sheen, and I'm not even going to say the other co-star's name. I can't pronounce it. It's a very Nigerian, African sounding name. Noted actor. You've seen him in something other, predominantly black movies. But yeah, those I think are the three. Oh, Cedric the Entertainer's in it. I don't know her name either, but the girl that plays P.D. Green's girlfriend and wife is a well-known actress. But yeah, that's about like the black Howard Stern, who's from like the 60s. And real person, true story. But Howard, kind of made popular this thing called shock radio. He was a shock jock. And in all actuality, his whole argument was, this is what's happening, or the things I'm talking about are what's happening in society. And he's right. There's a lot of ignorance, as we just found out. One. And he's made a life and a career out of bringing this to the forefront. So who am I going to be, like Howard or Fred Rogers? Well, Fred Rogers was born March 20th, 1928 in Latrobe, Pennsylvania, lived predominantly in the Pittsburgh area. And that's where we got Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. I said not only was he a downside is, he went to Pitt, We Penn Staters don't like that, but whatever. He went to Pitt and had been. I also thought I got to look for this here. He went to seminary school. I knew that, but I thought he was also like an army. Yeah, one of the monumental episodes. He and Francois Clemens had a foot bath on the episode in 1969. It's just one of those little backyard fill up yourself pools. And he said that was okay for two men to wash their feet. But Francois Clemens was a black man. And yeah, that was groundbreaking. I thought there was something though about he did things like he wrote a special segment that dealt with the assassination of Robert F. Kennedy that aired June 7th, 1968, 2 days after the assassination occurred. So, somebody else who's also done a lot for broadcasting and society. This article keeps quoting King, and I'm trying to, who the hell is King? Maybe it has like the references or notes or something. King. Just King. What the hell? Wow, David Newell, who played Mr. Freely. Ironic thing about that is I knew an NHL referee named Dave Newell. He's from O'Hara Township, and he's still alive, 85 years old. Speedy delivery guy. So, yeah, my point being about the two is that, one is very laid back, one is very proper, one is very nice guy, Mr. Rogers. Not that Howard's not a nice guy, but he will much more aggressively tell you what he thinks. And really, I'm both. I mean, I want to educate. That's what I've always wanted to do with this. Oswald, Paul Oswald said about me, I have a platform and whatever else. Yeah, I do have a platform. And unlike the knuckleheads that you listen to, I'm going to teach people. I taught people how to self-check or how to fact-check. I give people the notes to this show. So when I say something you don't like, you can find out where I got it from. There'll be 2 Wikipedia entries today. Plus, where I got the quote from Morning Motivation. So, yeah, I mean, I see me being a lot of both Howard Stern and Mr. Rogers. I discussed this with some other broadcast friends, and they loved the Mr. Rogers idea. And Jane and I discussed it yesterday, and we're both of the realization that I was already kind of edgy for the past year and not afraid to say what was on my mind. And I'm not going to stop that, but I'm not so much going to focus on it that it's just about the shock value like everybody else is doing. That's Benny. That's Rachel. That's Bongino. The Secret Service folks that I know still laugh at him. Good luck, Danny boy. All right, up next. I guess you're going to have to stay tuned. To see which way I go. Up next, we've got Pierre's Pot and today's recipient, Hasan Piker. You'll know him from the Young Turks and his Twitch channel. 99.1 WDJY, America One Radio, and the Mastiff Media Network. We'll be back after this.
Hey, gang. Does your house smell nasty? Do you want to freshen it up a little bit? Go to aromabypeter.com. Check out all of Peter's candles. It's what we burn here in Studio Yergs. I'm burning right now leather-scented candle. That's right, leather-scented. So go to aromabypeter.com/Yergs and check out his candle.
So that was the wrong commercial. I was supposed to do FlowSend. FlowSend.ai. It's what I use. We'll do it now because I got to get to this and we got to get out of here. FlowSend.ai. That's like .com, .net, whatever. FlowSend.ai. It's what I use. It's the artificial intelligence I use to process every episode. It's how I get suggested titles. It's how I get the transcript. Anything. Believe me, this is awesome. So go to flowsend.ai. I'm still getting as long as what they were going to get. So flowsend.ai. Tell them Yerg sent you because now you got to pay for the good parts of it. I didn't have to do that because I was part of their beta, and I still am. But to get everything, which you don't really need, but try it out, see what you can do, see what you want to do with it. Flowsend.ai, it saves me so much time. And I don't want to, just being me right now still, don't want to live without it. All right, today for Pierre's Pot, you remember Pierre Robert. He is a disc jockey from Philadelphia. He is, I don't have that, there it is. In honor of Pierre Robert from 93.3 WMMR, Philly, a DJ hero of mine who has been there since 1981. He's Howard's age, actually. He's 69. Howard's 70. We toast the morning sauce today in the direction of a good citizen, as he would call it. And today's good citizen, Hasan Piker from Twitch. You can find him at Hasan Abi. Hasan, Hasan, Abi, Abi, is his, profile name, call sign, whatever. 2.8 million followers. And I was watching another video on this guy. He's got 51,000 paid subscribers a month who each pay $5 a month for extra stuff, whatever that is. I don't know. I knew of this guy. Speaking of kind of like a Howard Stern, he is a bit in your face. 51,000 times 5 is $255,000 a month. Yeah, I guess he knows what he's doing. So he's a little bit more on the liberal side. Cenk Uygur from the Young Turks is his uncle. Cenk ran for president this past election. Didn't do well at all because, in actuality, he can't. He's not an American citizen. But, made his point. Put that out there. Oh, we lost him again. Oh, well, I guess it's that time. All right, everybody. So congrats to Hasan Piker. Thanks for doing what you do, fellow broadcaster. That's it. We're going to get out of here on time today because I've got to go figure out FEMA and chew their ass out. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. We'll have Philip in with us tomorrow, our Trump translator. Philip Blackett will be joining us now every Wednesday right here in Up the Middle. That's where you've gone, Up the Middle. Thanks for joining us. Run with the big dogs at Mastiff Media, and we'll see you tomorrow.